Good morning. I am Maria Estrada and I come from Catalunya, representing the Health Department of Catalonia, which is a region in which is seated and located Barcelona. And first of all, I will start thanking the organizers to invite us to attend this very interesting meeting. For us, it's an opportunity always. No? Okay. I prefer to be standard up in order to be able to see everybody. And for us, it's an opportunity to always to learn about other cities and other professionals. So I repeat that we are very, very happy for being here and thanking the organizers, especially the name of Valentina. Oh, sorry. Especially Valentina. Thank you very much. So I will start my presentation explaining you where is Barcelona located, because now Barcelona is a brand, and everybody knows Barcelona, but a few people know what's around Barcelona. And you cannot understand Barcelona and the way we are working to tackle with the problems related to leisure and to drug and alcohol intake in these recreational events if you don't know the other parts that are surrounding Barcelona, and the region. So quality nights in Barcelona. Quality nights has been developed here in Barcelona, but Barcelona belongs to Catalonia, which is a region that is at the north part of Spain. And some figures, and I would like to point out that we are nearly 8 million people living in Catalonia, and the age group that it's more prevalent is between 20 years old and 59 years old. So it's the age group which is more tendent to take and to have fun and to start experimenting or occasionally taking alcohol and other drugs. That's important as well. So in Catalonia there are 4 provinces, but you can realize the main of the people is in the area of Barcelona, not the city, but at their surroundings. So 5.5 million of people living at the surroundings of Barcelona. But there is Tarragona, which has this project too, the Quality Nights too. Lleida, that has developed as well the Quality Nights project too, and Girona, that is developing this Quality Nights project. So here we have the diverse 42 counties, and the municipalities, we have 948 municipalities, and it's important as well to point out because each municipality has their role to organize what's going on in their own city. So there are 948 municipalities that has to be organized and has to think about how to organize their nightlife. The main municipalities, so the main cities, are around Barcelona, and in order just to sound the name of these cities are Cornellà, L'Hospitalet, Santa Coloma, and we are working with that approach, Quality Nights approach, in all over these cities. Barcelona has 3 million of people living inside. So the approach that we have to take is as well with some particularities. Just the density of the inhabitants per kilometer. So another item that is interesting, Catalonia enjoy a lot with producing as well, and is earning a lot of money producing wine, cava, beer. So we have 11 designation of origin. So it's a way of richness, and we have quality as well, wines and cava and beer. And we have a lot of traditions, like everywhere, related to alcohol consumption. We use alcohol consumption to celebrate everything as everywhere, you know. Even we have a fountain. I said that once in another place. We have a fountain that when it's at the end of September, you, instead of water, you can drink cava. So it's a way of partying and traditions that we don't have to judge. It's a simple matter of health, simple matter of environmental difficulties to manage with that sort of traditions. Since long ago, we have from January till December wine, cava festivals, and traditional alcohol events to let people know which are the offers and to drink and to have fun, but with the main activities to drink. And before it was wine and cava, but now we are being more sophisticated as well with beer. So now it's handcraft-made beer. I don't know if this word is good with to develop beer, but there are some from January and December as well, beer festivals along the year and throughout the country. So those festivals are organized by and with the support of the municipalities. So they have to think about what can happen and to prevent risks about alcohol and the results of their activities. Another fact that it's important to understand what's going on in Barcelona is that we receive even nearly 20 million of tourists. The 81%, they say that they want to spend a good time because of the weather. So recreation and holidays as main reason of travel, of course. And even if they are said that they are going to Barcelona, they are seated all over the Costa Brava. They are looking for beaches. Beaches, I think, yeah, that word. So these municipalities, they have to manage as well the fact that they are receiving a lot of people during a short period of time that it's holiday time and summertime. So, and it's a thing that we have to think about as well. And tourism represents the 11th of the gross domestic product. And the tourist sector, it represents the 12.2 of the total employed in Catalonia. So it's important. So we want to keep it them. We want to have tourists. So, but we have to try to balance the positive points and with the negative, the balance the positive points. So, and as well, we have tour operators that use Barcelona to attract people, and with some offers that are not the best ones at the end for the theme that we are working on. So to prevent risks related to alcohol and drugs intake. Another item important, we have an important recreational industry. This industry represents the 1.86% of the gross domestic product, so it's important. And the main associations are FECASARM, FECALON, and Spain nightlife that has been now recently an international association that represents the promoters, the owners of the venues and the recreative and recreative organizers. So, nightlife industry is organized, and they develop themselves their own raising awareness to prevent alcohol activities and campaigns. So we have to take that in mind as well. So around 9,000 nightlife establishments registered. Around, you see these figures, so we have a lot of clubs, we have dance clubs, live music venues, and as well, there has been, during the last years, an important music festivals reclaim to come to Barcelona. So there is a large concentration of people, and some of these festivals have a huge impact and at an international level. Maybe it sounds to you, I'm sure, Sonar, Circuit, that it's addressed to LGTB people. So we have to manage and to keep in mind these situations in order to understand how are we working in Barcelona. So another important thing that we have to take in account is the legal framework system that is decentralized. That means that the central government established the basic legislation, but at a regional government we can develop some subsidiary legislation related to public health, education, and we can develop our system to organize or structure in order to give services to all over Catalonia. And as well, the local government, I think that I understood that like here, have the capacity to establish some norms related to the surroundings, the environment of the municipality. So there are some local governments that have rules related to alcohol, limiting hours of times taking allowed alcohol. So that has to be as well, that is an important point. So we have in Catalonia some critical elements. For one side we are in an alcohol and cultural tradition. We have tourism, we have an important recreational industry, so, and as well, we can develop our own norms as a region and as well as a municipality. Well, so all of that critical elements convey into some critical phenomena that there is a high incidence of risk and polydraug consumption in adults and young people. There are the local celebration, as I said before, but even the sport with alcohol events. I don't know if you ever heard about that, about the beer runners, that after you're riding and running, at the end you are given a beer that everybody knows that it's not the best way to rehydrate your body after a race. So there is a lot of opportunities and offers to drink. And as well, maybe you have heard about that before. There is the pub crawl. I think that you have here as well these sort of offers that make people, how to say it, have access easily access to alcohol, but and to drink in a pattern that it's not the best pattern to to take care of your health, like binge drinking. So we call them binge tourism, so hardcore drinkers that cause street violence. There is as well price wars, who gives the better prices in order to get more money. And as well, I don't know if you have heard about that, but there are special offers addressed to young people, students that want to have the end course party maybe, and they come to Barcelona and they can take a boat and go into the sea, where the international normative is a little bit gray, so can happen. There are things that no one knows who is the responsible for. So, and then they drink, they have parties, and but they take some risks as well. So 2 years ago, one guy jumped outside the boat and got drowned because he could not get inside and was drunk as well. So there are some difficulties to manage these special offers to have fun. Another interesting phenomena related to alcohol and drugs that is shared by a lot of countries because it's a globalized phenomena. But we've seen that in Barcelona and in Catalonia. I don't know if you heard about oxy shots, that you inhale alcohol. 2 years ago, it was a situation that provoked a lot of, in press, it was very seen and exposed, that there were girls that were changing sex for alcohol. I don't know if you have heard about that. So it's and at the end, I just wanted to point the increase of cannabis social clubs. Then we have developed a regulation in Catalonia in which people can gather together and to organize an association, because our laws allow it, but this regulation makes these people that wants to consume and to create a club to follow some health items. So, but this means that a lot of entrepreneurs that wants to increase their enterprises have seen Catalonia and Barcelona as a place where to get located and to start their business. So for a while we have had a sort of cannabis tourists that were offered when they were walking through the La Ramblas with leaflets to smoke cannabis in some places. So that's another matter and phenomena that we have to cope with. Well, there are few studies to know what's going on during the night, what is people taking, which are the prevalences of alcohol and drugs. But the one we have, we like to expose is the made by Estrada in 2007, and in which we just can realize that there is consumption, so we have to intervene in these settings. And the most prevalent situation you can find about polyconsumption is alcohol and cannabis, to mix alcohol, cannabis, ecstasy, cocaine. So that is just a slide to show that there is quite important prevalence of consumption and polyconsumption inside in recreational venues. And there is another one, is the Global Drug Survey, that people that's working in, and that's, I think that tomorrow you will dip a little bit more in that. So in this survey is shown as well that there is a lot of consumption, above all alcohol, cannabis, caffeinated energy drinks, and so on. Another kind of substances that well, if you are looking at this from a preventive perspective, so you have to take it in account. Well, and there's more data, more figures to justify why are we working in that area. So there is another concept that, because when we start working in that field, we were looking above all to the people's health. But now, after some years working on that, we've seen that as well we have to take in account the environmental prevention in order to as well intervene in their health too. So it has been shown that permissive environments regarding the availability and consumption of drugs that offer discounts on alcoholic beverages with poor hygiene standards, with excess capacity, loud music. I want to read it because their concepts are interesting. Poorly trained professionals are related to the appearance of high levels of intoxication and the emergence of violent behavior. So that shows us and point us which are some of the items we have to take in account in order to prevent and to work in prevention. Well, who do we have to keep in mind when we want to develop any strategy, preventive strategy? We have to take in mind the professionals of health, education. So it's a global as well approach we have to do in order to tackle with problems related to alcohol and drugs intake. So as we are as a public health agency, we work with other institutions, specialized ONGs, the private sector. It's been a key as well. It's been seen a key to work with municipalities and other professionals, mass media too, because they shape the mentality of the people when go to take alcohol and other drugs. So, and the problems that are related to. And as well, the youth themselves, and the adults and the people that goes out. So stakeholders are not only professionals, but as well neighborhoods, associations related to neighborhoods, the private sector, and youth themselves. So the target people we work to work with. So since the 1996, that it's like a starting point to if we have to put it in a time. We started working and looking at these recreative events because there were 2 young people that were died because of heat stroke for taking ecstasy. So then we start working in nightlife. Just 1 year later, we develop and we support energy control, and a lot of people here knows, to support a methodology, the peer intervention, and as well the checking of the pills, of the contents of the pills that people is taking during the raves and free parties. As well, to hand people breathalyzers in order to know what is the level of alcohol they have already. So the risk reduction approach that we have been developing during these years. So at the end, we have developed a global strategy that we call Q de Festa, nits de qualitat. So we have done some, this is a slide just to show you that there has been a lot of work before to arrive at now that we are working with this program called Quality Nights program. The Q de Festa Quality Nights is an integral project for the nightlife improvement, and It started in 2009, and it was an international as well meeting in which it was decided the methodology and the way this project was going to be run. And there was a kickoff in Tarragona in which everybody, like all the stakeholders I've pointed before, participated, but all the stakeholders that were from Tarragona. Well, what is Quality Nights program? But it's very similar what you are doing here in Florence. So they have to be developed participative platforms to define global strategies. When we say global, we are looking at these other items or variables that we pointed out before with the definition of what's environmental prevention. So we have as well another line that it's the one that is more maybe innovative, although it's being worked with for already 10 years, maybe. Do you remember more or less the starting point? I think it was in 2009 when it was started more or less. And training nightlife professionals and volunteers. So, and with this methodology, that we want to create citizen participation platforms, we want to promote the implementation Coup de Festa in nightlife quality label, involving private nightlife sectors and the local organizations within the public administration policies. So, and the third key point of this Coup de Festa approach is to promote the creation of volunteer groups able to work on prevention and risk reduction at night. That is what you are doing already, and Valentina has talked about before. So we are at the same line of working. So, which are the platforms? I won't extend along with that, but because maybe you know already a little bit what's about, but the aim is to get a consensus, and then the opinions and the proposal of all participants have the same value inside this platform. So later on, we will try to manage with the difficulties, but the consensus is basic. So these platforms develop a diagnosis about the situation, about their worries. Each of the stakeholders has to say what is its own problem, what wants to be solved, and develop an annual plan. That has to be implemented, but normally these platforms are with a lot of people, so from them there are a working group that is the one that develops and implements the actions, and after they evaluate what has been the impact of the activities they have decided to implement. So there is the detection of the needs, annual plan, implementation, and at least one annual meeting of everybody, because in that groups are as well political representative, institutional representative, neighborhood, security corps of the city. So everybody has to be there and to share what has happened after developing their activities. So normally what we see after doing the diagnose phase is that alcohol use is the most the problem that everybody wants to tackle with. The problems are the minors. It's seen that the minors are the ones that more vulnerably take drugs and alcohol. The places, normally this in Catalonia because of the weather, because of the way we like to celebrate that it's very outside, not so inside. So it's in public spaces, home and public spaces, and in a pattern that it's called binge drinking. So excessively and in a short period of time. During weekends, that it depends if the city where we are working in, they have universities or a lot of students that come in to study, then the weekends start on Wednesday or Thursday. So, but normally weekends and local festivities. Local festivities as the first one I talked to you about the fountain. So, in that we advise the municipalities and about what? About what can we do to try to prevent problems related to alcohol and other drugs. So we have to raise awareness about age limits, the gender equality, it has already said as well, awareness about drug effects, about antisocial behavior, about alcohol risks, driving accidents, alcohol alternative, peer working as main points, and as well transport alternatives, as it was said as well before. So some of the activities that have been developed, and some of them are quite innovative, at least in Catalonia. There is one here that there is it's this one, the yellow one, that I am not selling alcohol to minors, that this campaign is addressed to alcohol sellers and retailers. But we want them to be with us in order to prevent. So first of all, we ask them to put this as a poster and a sign in their shop, because then it's a way of having them committed with our project. So I'm not selling to minors, is a way of getting more people, more stakeholders involved in the prevention projects that are developed as a community. Another one is, and this one as well, is developed in supermarkets. So where does young people go to have drinks? Supermarkets. We've seen that as well with surveys and quality groups. So we know that they go. We know as well that in the group there is 18 years, more than 18 years old, is the one that's going to get the, but anyway, the point is that it has to be seen that it's not normal. I mean, it has to be seen that there is a norm here, and that if you are a minor, you cannot get a drink, alcoholic drink. So, there are different municipalities like Montornès, Tarragona, Barcelona. Another issue or problem that in Europe, in other countries, it has been stressed already, but at least we are working in it now. It's the gender inequality and the microaggressions that occur during the night. Because when we think about sexual assaults, we are always thinking about violation or something related to, but there are some, how to say, low-level aggressions to women during the night because of our thoughts or about our beliefs about what a woman is during the night. So we address that campaign, not only men, but as well women, in order to be more aware about their rights and about what can be normal and what cannot, what is not. So, and these are campaigns that are developed by youth. And then the municipality takes the idea, develops it, and share it and spread it out through all the municipality. So you must respect us, nights without sexual aggressions. No is always no. And it's a controversial as well sentence. No is always a no, but it's one of the that has been chosen by youth as well. Another one is sexism is not invited to the feast or to the party. Well, and antisocial behavior. So that's our transversal themes that are being worked through these communitarian preventive approaches, as well as to avoid accidents and so on. Another interesting activities, water, to promote water. Sometimes there are some, there is at least Torelló, that's a municipality, the professionals got in contact with a famous water enterprise, mineral water enterprise, and they decided to offer freely water with a queue of quality nights in order to give water for free and to raise awareness among youth about the importance of getting hydrated and the alternatives of alcohol intake. And in Tarragona, they put some signs using humor and using complicity jokes in order to attract people to the fountains to drink water. As well, we advise municipalities telling them the importance of having peer-to-peer working groups in their festivities, in order to do that job of peer-to-peer interventions, giving them leaflets, so supporting them in order to be able to develop these sort of activities. And lately we have offered to every municipality a guideline with some important points they have to keep in mind. And one of these points, maybe it hasn't been said yet here, is not to promote these activities, new activities related only basically with alcohol intake. Because at least there is a phenomenon that has happened in the past 7 years in which the municipality gives money to organizations that wants to organize an activity that it's just to take a bicycle and go from one pub to another one to get drinks. So, and that it's supported by the municipality. So maybe we have to be coherent as an institution that takes care of the health of their citizens, so, and their public health politics. They cannot be behind and supporting that. At least they cannot be promoting to develop this kind of activities. Well, of course there is training in that offer, and that we advise municipalities as well to train about drug prevention for professionals, the volunteers, and night event organizing. And as well, there is a figure that it has not been said before, that it's the control, the people that are guarding the doors in the locals, that they have to hear about the fundamental rights of the person, like they are advised about closing time, security measures, first aids course, about the importance of asking for the identity card to meet minors, and basic techniques of self-control and self-defense, among other themes. So there is offered as well train to the people that organize bars. It's quite typical in Catalonia and in different municipalities that the young people, to get money for going out, maybe Boy Scouts, associations, movements of youth, to organize a bar in which they can sell alcohol. So yeah, but there are adult people with minors, and so it's an association, and everybody can be associated, and it's a sort of a, well, familiar or communitarian way of being and gathering activities. So there is as well training for the people that leaders that bar or that organization, with some advice in order to raise awareness about the importance of being aware of risks of alcohol. So there are some municipalities that don't allow people organizing these sort of bars if they have not been trained before in risk reduction practices. So that's another activity or idea. Some of the advice, and the point is that we want to get committed, and we want to get a commitment of all stakeholders around that are organizing the events. So at right, there is a municipality called Mataró that has organized as well these bars. So some of the advice or the sentences that they want to share as an organization are these ones. We don't serve alcohol to minors, nor people that it's already drunk. We serve in plastic glasses and all these kind of ads. Well, and supporting peer work interventions that it's art, street art. So they try to spread out this message of harm risk reductions on alcohol and other drugs through the humor, through the art, through the fresh ways of communicating. Well, and at the end, as an overall strategy, we have to collaborate as well with tour operators because they are doing promotion of a tourism that is not interesting at all for us, that it doesn't enrich us as a municipality, neither as a country. So we have to work with them in order to not to do this sort of binge tourism offers. And as well with, we work as well with the security corps. We have the proximity policy, and they do different campaigns, but related to antisocial behavior, but as well with, are the ones that go to the shops, as I said before, and give the posters to be hanged on their shop. So we have to get involved as well with the proximity security corps from the municipality. Well, and I will go really faster, and I will go faster. So, because Coup de Festa is the project that wants to work with the private sector. So we identify the locals, the venues, the one that are with us, trying to prevent problems of their customers, to reduce risks about the alcohol and drug intake in their locals and in their events, in their venues. And to do that, they have to follow these services. Info about alcohol, breathalyzers. They have to give access to condoms, free water. They have to have food, earplugs, non-alcoholic carta or menu. They have to train their staff, and they have to have in their local info about public transport and as well about health. So They get a poster as well. And the model of the creation and functioning of that project is that we get in contact with the party spaces and the organizers, and we try to work with them in order to put all that services able to the clients and to the customers. And at the end of this process, they get a signal and a label to put on wherever they want. Okay. So I finished. The Q Festa, it's an international. It belongs to an international net that it's called Party Plus, and they have already 260 locals that are being identified. So they are working with all other stakeholders in order to try to prevent the problems related to alcohol and other drugs. In Barcelona, I just wanted to tell you that in Barcelona we have 7 districts. So, and each district, because it's a huge city, has their own government, as I said, so their own council. So they get their own decisions about what they want to do because they know which are their problems. So we work with these councils in order to implement this project and this model of working inside Barcelona. Now, related to identifying locals and venues, we are working in Sant Martí, which is a district that if you come to Barcelona is the place where you will go because there are a lot of places where to have fun and the locals are there. So you will find pubs, nightclubs and discotheques in that area of Sant Martí, and all of these locals are going to get the label. Well, it's been long, but I hope it's been understood properly. And if you have any question, maybe later on we will have time. Okay. Okay, then tomorrow. Okay, bye.